So, Jonathan, what opportunities did you see when starting your business, and what feedback did you get from your colleagues?
Well, in 2007, the my company and group of people that I started the heat pump store with were already involved in heat pumps through the research work and the consulting work that we were doing. We spoke with distributors around the region that sold ductless heat pumps to contractors, and we talked with contractors. And we knew that a rebate program was coming, but everything we were hearing from the industry was a sort of lack of interest or some skepticism.
Okay.
And so, as kind of innovative type people, right, we said, well, we have to prove that it's possible. We think it's possible, but let's not sit and wait. And so we started a contracting business dedicated to heat pumps. It's called the Heat Pump Store.
Mhm.
And at first, we were new contractors, so we had to go and create those relationships with distributors. They were a little skeptical, but we managed to get them to give us accounts and all of that. And our local utility at the time was a small public utility that served a small geographic area. Was a part of a pilot rebate program just to test it. And so we were really the only contractor participating in this pilot. And sure enough, we served 100 or so homes in this small town, and the customers loved it. They were saving money on their electricity bills, and their heating costs, let's say, and they were more comfortable, which was what we had predicted with some of the early research. And so, after that pilot, we sort of expanded our scope and our marketing and service area to take advantage of adjacent utilities, and we never looked back. And of course, then other contractors saw what was happening and saw that we had proved it was possible to have a heat pump only contracting business, or a focus on heat pumps. And the market kind of quickly built steam.
Between Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and Montana, there have been over 100,000 heat pump installed since the Northwest Energy Alliance rebate program launched. How many of those rebates has your company installed, and what has helped you be successful?
Our early days of record keeping were not that good, but we have a pretty good idea that we've done almost 20% of all the rebated installations in the four-state region, which
Mhm.
is kind of surprising. And I would say the next, let's say 20% were done by probably 5 to 10 contractors,
Mhm.
right? So a small number of contractors who made a focus on this rebate program and supporting the various rebates that are available, have done the lion's share of the work.
Right.
Now, what has happened in our market, which I would predict would happen in Colorado too, is that the rebates are only a small part of the market.
Mhm.
That, along with the rebates and the awareness that utilities can create through their marketing,
Mhm.
you have growth in other types of homes and uses. So, for example, in our market, the rebates are very narrow. They are only in electrically heated homes. Now, in Colorado, you have a much wider applicability of the rebates. And so, therefore, I think you have actually a much larger market in Colorado. The rebates will still, in Colorado, be only a small percent of the heat pumps that are sold. So, in other words, as soon as people start getting heat pumps as a part of this rebate program, the overall market will start to grow. So, in the Northwest, I still think today that the rebates for heat pumps are probably still only maybe a quarter of all of the heat pumps sold.
What pitfalls did you experience, and what advice would you give us about avoiding those?
The first pitfall has to do with marketing. And
Mhm.
so I think that there's a common mistake that contractors make, which is that they think that the offer of a rebate will make the phone ring. So, in other words, utilities out offering a rebate will somehow stimulate the market to have people call them for a heat pump. And that does happen, but it's still a very, very small amount of the business, potential business activity. And so, one of the reasons why my company was much more successful than the other heating contractors that we compete with is because we didn't wait for the phone to ring. We invested in our own lead generation activities focused on heat pumps. And so therefore we were able to create opportunities where beyond, the stuff that the utility might be doing.